Hey folks, Darren Stewart here with Stewart Stewart Attorneys. Nick Wagner's with me as well. We got a text message just before we started doing these videos today, and they had a couple questions from a friend of someone who works here had some questions.
The gallery.
Yeah, the gallery, Peanut Gallery, there you go. And I'll just read it to you. It says, considering the cases you've handled and what you've seen during your tenure as a lawyer, what are 5 things you would never buy? And it can be as long as you need. Okay, so they just give us the long answers what they're wanting. They want to know the details. And we'll just bounce this back and forth for a minute, and I use the word bounce intentionally. One thing, in fact, I told my kids, they were not happy with me when they were younger. I never bought a trampoline. I just never bought a trampoline. We've had too many injury cases from trampolines. Trampolines where they'll come off the edges of the trampoline and hit a tree or hit the hard ground or hit concrete, or they'll have multiple people jumping on them. And you see trained people doing it, people that are professional doing it, and it looks easy. But kids get there and start jumping on them, and if their timing's such that the center pad, the bounce part, is coming back up when the second child's coming back down, it's like landing on concrete. And if they've gotten some height, so many broken ankles from that. It's like hitting concrete. It's not soft.
And
so I just told my kids, no, you're not going to get one. And stay off of them at your friend's house.
Right. Well, now they've got these trampoline parks, though. You know, they have you sign your life away basically before you have your kids jump on those things. But I'll tell you another one thing that I was thinking about was, and I guess some people might buy it, some people might rent it, is a bounce house. You know, these bounce houses are just as dangerous, in my opinion.
I saw a news story where one of them got blown away in the wind or something with kids in it.
That happens. I mean, that's happened
crazy.
more than once. But you get so many kids in there, just run around and there's no supervision. And
I did buy one of those.
Did you? Okay, you should take it back. No, I mean, and a lot of times we have cases involving bounce houses at an apple orchard or something like that where it's not really there all the time, and somebody just drops it off and no one checks it for defects and things that could be dangerous for the kiddos. So I don't know. I wouldn't buy one of those. I wouldn't rent one. I certainly wouldn't buy one.
Another thing that comes to mind for me, and I don't know if this is an ego thing or a safety thing, it's probably a combination of both, and that's a moped or small scooter.
Yeah.
I guess I don't want to look like that guy running up the street on the scooter, although they're very economical.
Yeah, well.
And I ride a motorcycle, but I just would not buy a scooter or like a moped. But back in the day, mopeds were so cool that you pedaled them and the little motor on them, they were kind of cool.
But you're up against a lot more weight, when you get a car coming at you, or you're going to get the short end of the stick.
And you don't have the power, the speed to get out of the way or to keep up with traffic in certain scenarios, and it can be very dangerous. It's dangerous on a motorcycle sometimes. You don't have protection. But
it's kind of like ATVs, and those can be fun, but I mean, if they get a kid driving one or someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they can be dangerous.
It's interesting you said that because, three-wheelers. I don't know if you remember the Honda three-wheelers.
Yeah.
They tipped over. They were, in fact, there was a lot of litigation over those, and that's when they went to the four-wheelers.
2 wheels in the back and 1 wheel in the front.
Correct, tricycle.
Yeah.
And they just were not stable. And I have ATVs, four-wheelers, and I don't have a problem with those. If you ride them properly and you know how to ride them, they can be safe. But those three-wheelers, I'd never buy a three-wheeler. I'd never buy one. I don't know if they're still making them or not. I think they make motorcycles like that.
Variation of it, but not motorcycles maybe. But
I'd buy one of those neat UTVs. They're almost like little dune buggies.
Oh yeah,
those are pretty cool. They have doors and seatbelts.
Yeah, that's kind of different though.
What else would you not buy based on your experience as an attorney?
This is going to sound off the wall, but I've heard in sort of a products liability kind of spectrum, a heating pad.
Really,
so these heating pads. You always talk about people getting burned by them, or worse yet, they catch fire, and people use them to put on their hip or their chest or whatever when they're sleeping. But I've seen at least a handful of cases like that come through.
Note to self: get rid of heating pad when I get home.
Yeah, get rid. I mean, I
have one,
but
I have one.
Yeah, I mean, they can be dangerous.
Sometimes they don't start fires.
Well, they can. Yeah.
If they're turned up too high, they can cause like a burn.
Yeah, they can burn, and some of the studies that I've seen come out parallel with some of these cases just by working on them is, the human body works in such a way that if this pad is on you at night and it starts burning you, you may not. It's not an immediate nervous reaction that you'll get, like wake up, oh no, I'm hot. It can be too late. I mean, your body, if you're in the REM sleep stage, I'm getting deep here, but if you're in the if you're in the deep sleep, yeah, you may not realize it before it's too late, and it could be burning you.
Wow.
Yeah, it's it can be
Well,
dangerous.
usually if I'm using the heat pad, which isn't very often, I've got the muscle pain that's keeping me awake, so it's
Yeah.
not an issue. No, speaking of heating, though, one thing that I absolutely will never buy and don't own and don't want one, won't let one in my house or my office for that matter, and that is space heaters. The ones with the electric coils like toasters,
Yeah.
because they're just fire hazards. You know, you leave the office, you got one running on your desk, leave the office for the day, you forget to turn it off. It's a big fire hazard.
Yeah.
It can cause a fire.
Well, the space heater's fire hazard, but sometimes people plug them into extension cords and things like that. I mean, it just it can be super dangerous.
Yeah, and I understand some scenarios require, I guess that it. And I'm not trying to fault people that have them, and I've seen fire cases, and you and I handled a fire case together. Where a child,
Yeah.
Parents lost their child, and space heater was an issue. So
Yeah.
it's just not something I would ever bring into my house because of that. And I'm not saying they're inherently dangerous, but I mean, I just think
Yeah.
not a risk I would take. Trampolines, mopeds, and space heaters for me. What else can you think of that you would never buy?
A car.
I think you're gonna say
no
a dog.
way. Oh no, well, majority of the cases that we handle are auto accidents. So when you and that was a joke to say.
There's certain cars I wouldn't buy,
Right.
because I've seen plenty of
like
crashes.
What?
Well, should we get into all that?
I don't know. Maybe not. Let's just leave it at this.
Smaller cars. Well,
Smaller.
smart car for sure.
Yeah.
Those little smart cars.
Well, this day and age, I mean, there's so many computer components to the vehicle. I mean, there's more to go wrong, right? I mean, it's not just your 89 Civic hatchback. Nothing against people who have a Civic
Or
hatchback.
your 69 Chevy Camaro.
There you go.
SS.
Yeah.
Is that what you had in high school?
Simple. No. It's an 84 Cutlass.
84 Cutlass. Nice.
Yeah, so,
nice. Do you have a lift kit on it?
I'm sorry. No, not on my Cutlass. Anyway, so that was a joke, but I mean, in reality,
Start walking more.
yeah, maybe start walking more.
Okay. Interesting. Pressure cookers. We've had some pressure cooker cases where the pressure cooker built up pressure and either didn't release the pressure and exploded. It didn't properly release the.
See, we have one of those.
Or it was releasing the pressure and it just wasn't manufactured correct. Both ways aren't manufactured correctly, but the other way is that the seal or the locking mechanism isn't secure enough or sturdy enough, and it explodes. And clients have been very seriously burned.
Yeah, they're making those much better nowadays, though. I think. I
Well,
don't
I mean,
want
this
to
is what
dissuade-
that-
if we didn't buy anything because if we didn't buy
I
anything,
have one. I have a pressure cooker.
Okay.
But I mean, something that comes to
but if we
mind.
didn't buy anything that could potentially hurt you, we wouldn't have any possessions.
We
Probably.
wouldn't have any lawyers.
Right, that's right. That's right.
Maybe not such a bad idea.
Well, something to keep in mind.
This was real spontaneous here. We just got this in. So, but that's kind of what I would. Those are the three things I can think of.
Read Google reviews.
Yes, read the Google reviews. Read our Google reviews.
Yep.
Read our Google reviews.
Read ours. If you don't believe me, you should. But if you don't, read our Google reviews.
If we can help you with something serious, please get serious. Get Stewart. Give us a call.